there's a short life in
Why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take. You're going through so much to try and deal with life.
Stevie J, the Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man.
It's no secret that Hollywood has always had a dark and twisted underbelly, but what Terrence Howard recently revealed has sent shockwaves through the industry and beyond. Imagine this, a world where fame and power come at a cost so steep it strips away something deeper than money or status. It takes a piece of your soul. And that's exactly what Howard alluded to during an explosive interview where he opened up about his chilling encounter with Diddy Combs and the hidden truths of Hollywood's elite. Buckle up, because this is a story that dives into manipulation, betrayal, and the unspoken rules of an industry cloaked in glamour.
You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, but when you lose your man card.
Terrence Howard, a celebrated actor known for his roles in blockbuster films and iconic television series, has always been candid about his struggles and triumphs. But what he shared about his run-ins with Diddy peeled back the curtain on just how insidious the entertainment world can be. Picture this, Howard receives an invitation to meet Diddy under the pretense of discussing acting lessons, music, and potential collaborations. A seemingly innocent opportunity, right? But as Howard recounts, the meeting quickly took an unsettling turn. Instead of diving into any professional discussion, Howard was met with what he described as a bizarre and uncomfortable atmosphere. He later realized that this wasn't just an ordinary meeting, it was something far more sinister.
Card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying.
Howard explained how his assistant warned him that Diddy's intentions might not be as straightforward as they seemed. He's trying to, the assistant reportedly told him. And just like that, Howard's perception shifted. He cut off communication immediately, refusing to play into what he described as a manipulative game. But the psychological weight of that encounter lingered, leaving Howard questioning the ethics of an industry that demands so much from its stars. He spoke about a concept he calls the man card, which in his eyes represents a person's integrity, dignity, and sense of self. According to Howard, once someone gives up their man card, there's no getting it back.
That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid,
The idea of losing one's man card might sound abstract, but Howard breaks it down in stark terms. He believes that when people compromise their values for fame, fortune, or even survival in the cutthroat world of Hollywood, they lose a vital part of themselves. A man doesn't take, a man gives, Howard said, emphasizing the spiritual toll of giving up that sense of identity. He went on to say that he's seen countless promising talents in Hollywood spiral into despair because of the things they've had to do or been forced to do to succeed. You can't get it out of your head, he lamented. No matter how much you try to bury it, it's always there. That's why so many end up self-destructing. Howard's words hit hard, especially when he pointed to names like Philip Seymour Hoffman and Heath Ledger, suggesting that the pressures and moral compromises of Hollywood likely played a role in their tragic struggles. While he didn't delve into specifics, his message was clear: the entertainment industry often chews people up and spits them out, leaving them to grapple with the emotional fallout on their own. And then came the bombshell. Howard linked these struggles to Diddy's infamous parties, events that have long been the subject of rumors and whispers within the industry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head.
Let's talk about these gatherings, often referred to as freak-offs by those in the know. For years, Diddy's parties have been a magnet for celebrities, socialites, and industry insiders. On the surface, they seemed like extravagant celebrations of wealth and success. But Howard's account suggests that there's a darker side to these events. He described them as spaces where people were lured into compromising situations, often under the influence of substances or promises of career advancement. Once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from, Howard said, alluding to the idea that these events stripped individuals of their moral compass and left them adrift.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at it.
The deeper you dig, the more unsettling the stories become. Howard insinuated that these parties were more than just wild nights out, they were tests, traps even, designed to see how far someone would go to fit in or climb the ladder. He claimed that those who refused to participate often faced professional consequences, losing out on opportunities, or being blackballed altogether. And it wasn't just actors. Howard suggested that musicians, producers, and even athletes were caught in the web of these manipulative games.
Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept.
Howard's refusal to compromise his principles came at a cost. "I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way," he admitted, his words carrying an unmistakable weight. He spoke about the challenges of navigating an industry that often rewards those who are willing to play by its unspoken rules, no matter how degrading or exploitative they may be.
Have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
For Howard, staying true to himself is more important than any paycheck or award, but he knows firsthand how isolating that stance can be. The ripple effects of these revelations extend far beyond Howard's personal experiences. His account shines a spotlight on the systemic issues within Hollywood, where power dynamics are often skewed in favor of a select few who wield influence over others' careers. Diddy, in particular, has faced mounting allegations that paint a troubling picture of his behavior behind closed doors. From lawsuits accusing him of misconduct to first-hand accounts from those who have attended his parties, the narrative surrounding Diddy has become increasingly difficult to ignore.
The stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific
I'm
reason?
I'm still working. I still, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not.
One particularly explosive claim involves a lawsuit filed against Diddy that alleges he facilitated and participated in appalling acts during one of his infamous gatherings. The plaintiff's account includes mentions of celebrities like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James being present, though their representatives have strongly denied any involvement. The lawsuit describes a nightmarish scene that underscores the predatory nature of these events, with victims being humiliated and coerced into degrading situations. While Diddy's legal team has dismissed the allegations as baseless, the sheer volume of accusations has cast a long shadow over his reputation. Howard's testimony adds another layer to this complex and unsettling narrative. His willingness to speak out, despite the potential fallout, raises important questions about accountability in the entertainment industry. How many more stories like his are out there waiting to be told? And more importantly, what will it take for meaningful change to occur? Howard believes that it starts with individuals refusing to compromise their values, no matter the cost. "Always be the man in the room," he said, a mantra that has guided him through the highs and lows of his career.
It was just an escape for me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do.
But the question remains, what happens to those who have already lost their man card? Howard seems to think that redemption is rare, if not impossible. He describes seeing people struggle to cope with the choices they've made, turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms in a desperate attempt to forget. From his perspective, the entertainment industry is a place where dreams are sold at the expense of one's soul, leaving many to wonder if the price of fame is worth the toll it takes. As Howard's revelations continue to make waves, they've opened the door to broader conversations about the culture of silence and complicity in Hollywood. His story is a stark reminder that beneath the glitz and glamour lies a world fraught with moral compromises and ethical dilemmas. And as more people come forward to share their experiences, it's becoming increasingly clear that the industry has a long way to go before it can truly claim to be a safe and supportive environment for all. With the spotlight now firmly fixed on Diddy and his inner circle, the question is, who will be the next to step forward? If Howard's account is any indication, there's no shortage of stories waiting to be told. And as the layers of Hollywood's dark underbelly continue to be peeled back, one thing is certain: this is only the beginning.
Coming out It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
Stay tuned, because the next chapter of this saga takes us even deeper into the lives of those who've been directly impacted by these troubling revelations. From Justin Bieber's cryptic messages to Usher's candid confessions, the ripple effects of Diddy's actions are far-reaching. What do their stories reveal about the industry's culture of exploitation? And more importantly, what does it mean for the future of Hollywood? Let's pick up right where we left off, diving even deeper into the ripple effects of Diddy's alleged actions and how they've impacted some of the biggest names in the entertainment world. Terrence Howard's revelations were just the tip of the iceberg. Now, the spotlight shifts to two other stars whose early connections to Diddy have raised eyebrows for years: Justin Bieber and Usher. Their stories reveal a lot about what it means to navigate an industry where power dynamics are often skewed and where the price of fame can leave an everlasting mark. Let's start with Justin Bieber, the golden boy of pop who skyrocketed to fame as a teenager. His meteoric rise was the stuff of dreams, but behind the scenes, there were whispers of something more troubling. Bieber's connection to Diddy began when he was still a minor. At the time, he was still new to the industry, a fresh-faced talent with a bright future ahead of him. Diddy, known for his influence and larger-than-life persona, seemed like the perfect mentor to help Bieber navigate the treacherous waters of fame. But as the details of their interactions come to light, it's becoming clear that their relationship might not have been as wholesome as it appeared.
Saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
In a now infamous video that resurfaced recently, Diddy is seen spending time with a young Bieber, referring to their hangout as 48 hours with Diddy. The clip, which was shared on Bieber's YouTube channel back in 2009, shows Diddy promising to give Bieber his Lamborghini when he turned 16. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, Justin's having 48 hours with Diddy, the mogul says in the video. Where we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. At first glance, it might seem like an innocent gesture from a mentor to a young artist, but the vague language and cryptic tone have sparked speculation about what really went on during that time. What's even more unsettling is the way Diddy seemed to position himself as a guardian figure in Bieber's life. In the video, he says, "I've been given custody of him. You know, he's signed to Usher and I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album." The comment raised eyebrows, especially considering the industry's history of older figures exerting control over young talent. Bieber, for his part, appears enthusiastic in the video, joking about wanting to go get some girls and expressing excitement about the Lamborghini. But looking back now, some fans and critics are questioning whether Bieber fully understood the dynamic he was stepping into.
And we are getting word that that these accusers could soon testify in front of a grand jury in New York, and that one accuser is from Detroit.
Bieber's cryptic social media activity in recent years has only added fuel to the fire. Following Diddy's recent legal troubles, Bieber shared a message about enemies that many interpreted as a veiled reference to his early experiences in the industry. While he hasn't explicitly named Diddy or addressed the rumors directly, his silence speaks volumes. It's a stark contrast to the young, eager Bieber seen in those early videos, and it raises questions about how those formative years shaped him. Now let's pivot to another major name tied to Diddy, Usher. Unlike Bieber, Usher's connection to Diddy goes back decades. When Usher was just a teenager, he was sent to live with Diddy in New York as part of what was dubbed Flavor Camp. This was a time when Diddy was at the height of his influence, known for throwing extravagant parties and living a lifestyle that epitomized excess. Usher, who was still a minor at the time, later described the experience as both eye-opening and confusing. In a 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher reflected on his time with Diddy, calling it pretty wild. He admitted that he witnessed things he didn't fully understand at the time, saying, "I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was crazy." While he didn't go into explicit detail about what he saw, his choice of words left little to the imagination. Stern, always one to push boundaries, asked if Usher would ever send his own children to a similar environment. Usher's response was swift and unequivocal: "Hell no." Usher's comments have resurfaced in light of the allegations against Diddy, and they paint a picture of an environment that was far from nurturing. While Usher has credited Diddy with helping to shape his career, the stories about their time together suggest that the mentorship came with its own set of challenges. In a 2004 interview with Rolling Stone, Usher revealed that Diddy introduced him to a world he wasn't prepared for. "There was always people around. You'd open a door and see something happening, or several people in a room," he said. Again, the vagueness of his account leaves much to the imagination, but it's clear that those experiences left a lasting impression. What's striking about both Bieber and Usher's stories is the way they highlight the blurred lines between mentorship and exploitation in the entertainment industry. Diddy's role as a mentor to these young artists was framed as a way to help them navigate the pressures of fame, but the power dynamics at play tell a different story. Whether it's the cryptic comments in old videos or the vague recollections in interviews, there's a sense that these young stars were thrust into situations they weren't fully equipped to handle.
What'd they do to him? Because there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody, I mean, I've heard things, but what did they really do to him?
The industry's gatekeepers like Diddy hold immense power over the careers of up-and-coming talent. They have the ability to make or break someone's career with a single decision, and that power can be both a blessing and a curse. For Bieber and Usher, their connections to Diddy undoubtedly opened doors and provided opportunities that helped launch their careers. But at what cost? The emotional toll of navigating those relationships is something neither of them has fully elaborated on, but the hints and clues they've dropped over the years suggest that it wasn't always easy. And it's not just Bieber and Usher. The allegations against Diddy have sparked a broader conversation about the culture of exploitation in the entertainment industry. For years, rumors have swirled about the dark side of Hollywood, from manipulative power plays to the use of influence to silence dissent. Diddy's infamous parties, often described as lavish and over the top, have become a symbol of that culture. While they were once seen as exclusive events that everyone wanted to be invited to, they're now being scrutinized as potential breeding grounds for misconduct.
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies.
As more details emerge, the stories of Bieber and Usher serve as cautionary tales about the pitfalls of fame and the importance of accountability. Their experiences highlight the need for greater transparency and safeguards to protect young talent in the industry. It's a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour, there are real people grappling with the consequences of choices they may not have fully understood at the time. So where does this leave us? The allegations against Diddy are still unfolding, and it's unclear what the long-term impact will be on his career and legacy. For Bieber and Usher, their stories are a testament to their resilience and ability to rise above the challenges they faced. But the questions raised by their experiences remain unanswered. How many others have similar stories? And what will it take to create an industry where these kinds of power dynamics are no longer tolerated?
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
As we continue to unravel the layers of this complex and troubling saga, one thing is certain: the conversation is far from over. The stories of Bieber and Usher are just the beginning, and they serve as a stark reminder that the entertainment industry has a lot of work to do when it comes to protecting its most vulnerable members. What will it take for real change to happen? And who will be the next to step forward with their own story? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue.